forward-looking indicators are exploding higher, meaning we're all going to have some more money soon because the economy is going to be working better, our businesses will run better, our earnings will go up, and we'll feel a bit better about ourselves. That's what lies ahead and is at the essence of what matters in the banana zone. Now, here's where the magic happens. Altcoins, as a percentage of total market cap, so it's like the inverse of Bitcoin dominance, actually is driven by the business cycle. And that's because people take more risks and invest more money when they've got their earnings going up, when people think they've got a bit more money. And that is what drives altcoins. We've barely started. And I showed you before, ISM starts going up, altcoins go bananas.
The much anticipated banana zone is here, and cryptocurrency prices are ripping higher. Bitcoin, the world's largest cryptocurrency by market cap, is leading the charge with an 8.4% increase in the past week, a 22.5% increase in the past month, and an 80.08% increase year to date. The leading cryptocurrency is currently trading at $76,129 after recording new all-time highs of $76,800 on Thursday. The ongoing crypto rally started shortly before President-elect Donald Trump's historic victory at the polls earlier this week and has continued to gain momentum, especially after the U.S. Federal Reserve announced another 25 basis points rate cut on Thursday. With Bitcoin now at all-time highs, other cryptocurrencies are beginning to pick up steam. Dogecoin, Cardano, and Solana are up by over 20% in the past week, with Cardano recording an astonishing 24.67% increase in the past week and a 16.76% increase in the past 24 hours as of press time. They are closely followed by Sui, Ethereum, and Avalanche, which are up by 18.81%, 16%, and 11.71%, respectively, in the past week. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index, which reflects crypto market sentiment, is also at full-on greed for the first time in months, revealing how ecstatic and optimistic investors are about the ongoing rally. Real Vision founder and CEO Raoul Pal describes this as the banana zone, a period in every crypto bull market marked by significant upward price movement. According to Pal, we are now officially out of the boring zone and in the banana zone, with crypto prices expected to continue rallying upward sharply for several more months. Pal is predicting more new all-time highs for Bitcoin, as well as for leading altcoins like Solana, Ethereum, Sui, and others, all fueled by central banks unleashing an unprecedented amount of liquidity on their respective economies. In a recent update on his Raoul Pal the Journeyman YouTube channel, Pal delves into the banana zone, detailing why the activities of central banks have made the business cycle predictable, and what to expect as we go deeper into the yellow fruit zone. As we bring you clips from Pal's video, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Thanks for the support, and enjoy the video.
The banana zone is that point when crypto prices go exponential. And while we all love this and our hopes and dreams are all in that yellow fruit, I wanted to get everybody on the same page of understanding so you know where we are and why we're here. So I'm going to run through a selection of charts, many of which you'll never seen before, that gives you a much deeper understanding of what's going on and what we might be able to look forward to ahead. Because the banana zone is a very special time. Now, since 2008, everything has become cyclical, because in 2008, every central bank around the world reset interest rates to zero. It was like a debt jubilee. You don't have to pay your interest, so the world could kind of recover from the debt blow-up of 2008. And for about 10 years, we had zero interest rates. And what the governments did is they reset all of their debts to between 3 and 5 years. That cycle has created a perfectly cyclical business cycle. The ISM, the Institute of Supply Managers Survey, what we've got here is in black is the current cycle, which is it's currently at its lows, but the forward-looking is actually just the previous cycle moved forwards and inverted because it keeps repeating the same cycle. So that same cycle is repeatable and understandable and forecastable. Sure, the wiggles may change, the direction will be right. And it's driven by this. This is the distribution of debt in the United States. If you look at the first two boxes, well, that's 72% of the entire debt structure is 1 to 5 years, which is what I talked about before. This is what's causing the cyclicality that you see in the economy and these 4-year cycles. So because they're using the liquidity to manage the debt, the rollover years, which tends to be this yellow and the kind of weird peachy color, the summer and fall, those are when the peak debt rollover happens. So they add lots of liquidity. So if you look at that, you can see the liquidity piling into the system as they start rolling those debts over, and they need to print more money because they have to issue new debt to pay the interest on the old debt. Sometimes they use a central bank balance sheet. Other times they just create liquidity, and it's done on a globalized basis. Right now, China's the big liquidity driver. And then you get those blue years, which are the winter years, when they start withdrawing liquidity because they don't need to service the debts because there's no debts around those periods of time. So that's why we get this cycle. And this cycle creates the Bitcoin cycle. It actually corresponds with the presidential election cycle and also the Bitcoin halving cycle. They're all those summer months. The summer months tend to be pretty strong. You can see the previous examples, 2012, 16, 20, all good months, all good seasons or years. And then fall tends to be very strong. The fall in 2021 was still strong, but it had a stunted cycle because liquidity was starting to get withdrawn because they put so much in. But if you look at 2017 and 13, they were gigantic. So the fun is yet to come. When you look at it in year-on-year terms, you can see the cyclicality and how related Bitcoin is to global liquidity and how the seasons dictate that. So what we're looking forward to is the big rises in price ahead.
It's all a factor of the business cycle, and according to Pal, the business cycle is telling us a very pleasant story of higher prices, an enjoyable business climate, and general economic well-being, at least for the next 8 to 12 months. It's all a part of Raoul Pal's popular everything code thesis. Pal further simplifies this thesis in a recent thread posted on social media platform X. The post reads, "Demographics are destiny. GDP slows over time as the size of the labor force shrinks. Government debt to GDP ratio is just a function of the working population. It offsets the weak growth and pays for the compounding interests on the debts. This is the most important chart in macro. So to sum up the everything code, older population leads to lower trend GDP growth. Lower GDP growth requires increasing debts to maintain growth and service the old population. Central banks print money to service the debts every 4 years, and numbers go up. We are now in the number go up phase of the business cycle. With Bitcoin now soaring high, Pal says it's almost time for altcoin season, which is when the true magic happens." Here are more clips from the video.
Now, looking forwards, the business cycle is starting to pick up. So current ISM today is very lackluster. It's almost recessionary conditions, which is why many of you think we're in a recession right now. The forward-looking indicators are exploding higher, meaning we're all going to have some more money soon because the economy is going to be working better, our businesses will run better, our earnings will go up, and we'll feel a bit better about ourselves. That's what lies ahead and is at the essence of what matters in the banana zone. And you see the financial conditions index, which is our lead in all of this. It's comprised of oil prices, the dollar, and rates, is also suggesting that ISM leads. And it's a pretty good indicator. So that it leads ISM and by 9 months. So we kind of know the business cycle is going to be going up at least for 9 months and probably a lot longer. Now, here's where the magic happens. Altcoins, as a percentage of total market cap, so it's like the inverse of Bitcoin dominance, actually is driven by the business cycle. And that's because people take more risks and invest more money when they've got their earnings going up, when people think they've got a bit more money. And that is what drives altcoins. It's the same as small caps in equities. They're all driven by the same basic phenomena, which is the business cycle creates more activity, which creates more investment, which drives prices higher. So we've barely started. As I showed you before, ISM starts going up, altcoins go bananas. Now, when we measure altcoin season by using this 30-day outperformance, underperformance of Bitcoin, we're nowhere. We're still at 39%. That's mid-cycle range. We've got a long way to go. And that's when things get very excited. It tends to be the last 12 months of the 4-year season. That 4-year period. Those last 12 months are where all the returns come. and they lie ahead. Also, total liquidity is breaking out. We see these wedge patterns every time around the same time in the cycle. And then what happens is as soon as it breaks out, Bitcoin breaks out too. We're breaking out now. China is leading it. China's injected $8 trillion of liquidity so far since, I think, October, November 2022. Europeans about $1 trillion, the UK about $1 trillion. The US has actually been about flat, but we expect them to start injecting money soon via the Treasury General account. Okay, Global M2, it's a measure of private money. It leads by 11 weeks, Bitcoin. Perfect. And Bitcoin, banana zone. We keep going. So that looks great. Now, don't get fixated exactly it's going to be 100,000, but it seems in that kind of range. Basically, a strong end to the year and should get even stronger into next year. GMI total liquidity, another fantastic correlation, same kind of outcomes. Strong Bitcoin into the end of the year, and that's what we're looking for here. Ignore the corrected price action right now on that chart because it hooks up afterwards. So we should just continue over time higher. Okay, are we anywhere near the cycle top? I know people fret, oh my God, but Bitcoin's at all-time high. Surely I'm going to be buying the top. Surely Raoul's shilling things at the top and he's trying to find exit liquidity and all the nonsense that people talk about online. Basically, our cycle liquidity indicator is nowhere near where it's going to go. Also, look at the acceleration that happens before it peaks out. We haven't done anything yet. This has been super mild. So expect the acceleration ahead.
While Ethereum, the largest altcoin by market cap, has gained more than Bitcoin in the past week, up by 16% compared to Bitcoin 8.75%, it's still far from its previous all-time high of $4,878. Pal believes Ethereum will soon start playing catch-up. In another tweet on X, the former Goldman Sachs wrote, "Just thinking out loud. I've been expecting Ethereum to start gaining lost ground on Bitcoin. It's partly driven by the risk-taking cycle, but it's also driven by the election. You see, now that regulation is likely to dramatically improve for crypto, it allows two key potential developments. Number 1. Utility tokens in DeFi will begin to offer yield or reward of underlying protocol, which creates network value. Most of this is on Ethereum. Number 2. TradFi will likely begin to build larger use cases, but on the most tested, adopted chain. Think of Ethereum and the L2 as the Microsoft of Web3. No one gets fired for using it. Those two elements alone can dramatically re-rate Ethereum and offset the current retail adoption on other chains, and Ethereum yields will attract more institutions. Yields allow other financial products to be built, such as guaranteed funds. With better regulations, this activity will explode. As a result of these developments, Pal expects Ethereum to begin to outpace Bitcoin for the rest of the cycle, but underperform Solana, which will in turn underperform Sui. In his words, Sui is in the ultimate performance stage of adoption. Please share your thoughts on Raoul Pal's predictions for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies, and the global economy in the comments section below. Also, ensure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thanks for watching.